You've seen this screen before. One is from a video game, the other is from a real operation. If you had to say which was which on the first cut, you might hesitate. That hesitation is what this video is about. It wouldn't be Armored Geeks if we didn't find a way to reference video games. Well, now is that time. That was the present. This is what is being built next. The meta has changed, and the people writing the new rulebook are not game developers. Right now, a drone pilot sits in Nevada, watches a live feed from the other side of the planet, and makes a targeting decision through a screen. The weapon fires. The pilot goes home. Call of Duty understood this. The AC-130 kill streak put you in exactly that position. Thermal camera, crosshairs, clinical distance from what you were authorizing. This is not a tutorial. There are no respawns on the other end. But when the enemy scales faster than human reaction time allows, that model breaks. That is where Command and Conquer enters. Command and Conquer is not a shooter. You do not control a soldier. You control a commander. You set objectives, allocate resources, and deploy operational teams. The units move on their own. They find the path, engage the target, execute the mission. Your job is the map, not the trigger. You decide what gets hit. The system decides how. Here is the problem the COD model cannot solve. Speed. A hypersonic missile travels at roughly 1 mile per second. The average human takes about 1.5 seconds just to consciously register that something has changed, which means your role in that particular engagement is essentially witness. You don't get a respawn. Meet the Maven smart system. Palantir's AI platform is now deployed across every major US combatant command and adopted by NATO. It fuses satellite imagery, drone feeds, and sensor data into a single targeting picture. What used to take analysts hours, Maven reduces to under a minute. The human is still there, but their role has shifted. They are no longer processing the battlefield. The AI is doing the grinding. They are reviewing conclusions and authorizing action. The decision about what to point at has increasingly already been made. The interface Westwood Studios designed in 1995, overhead map, unit icons, click to authorize, is not a metaphor for where this is going. Several current AI battle management systems look almost exactly like that. The game was, apparently, documentation. Anduril's Lattice platform converts sensor data into targeting decisions within seconds. Shield AI's HiveMind enables aircraft and drones to operate autonomously, even when all communications are jammed. These are not future programs, they are operating now. If you want to see where the COD model ends and the CNC model begins, the clearest case study is not a Pentagon briefing. It is Gaza. The Israeli Defense Forces used an AI system called Lavender that assigned probability scores to over 37,000 individuals, ranking likelihood of Hamas affiliation. Human analysts were reportedly approving AI-generated targeting recommendations in as little as 20 seconds per case. 20 seconds. That is the speedrun version of human oversight. Slightly less time for context than it takes to read the nutrition label on a granola bar. Mankind's great moral checkpoint. The architecture is not disputed. AI generates the list. Human approves it. System executes. No longer Call of Duty. Not yet Command and Conquer. The worst of both. Autonomous targeting speed with the legal fiction of human oversight still attached. In 2014, 140 nations convened in Vienna to define what meaningful human control actually means in practice. The drones did not wait. Nobody shipped a patch. The UN Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons has been working on this for over a decade. In 2023, 164 nations backed a legally binding framework. The concept at the center: meaningful human control. A human genuinely responsible for the use of force. Not just a name in the chain of command. At the speed these systems operate, genuine responsibility is getting harder to locate. Here is what both games get wrong. In Call of Duty, you optimize for performance. In Command and Conquer, you optimize for efficiency. Neither ships with a minimap for the fog of war that involves a grandmother carrying groceries or a school 2 blocks from a designated target. The risk military ethicists call game brain is real. As the interface becomes more abstract, the psychological distance from consequences grows. The human in the loop starts running on NPC energy, present, technically functional, not actually deciding anything. The interface feels like a game, the outcomes are not. That gap is exactly where accountability goes to die. When an AI system makes a lethal targeting error, the legal question becomes, who exactly do you court-martial? The developer? The commander who set the parameters? The algorithm? The server rack? International law has not resolved this. The meta right now is everyone is responsible, which means no one is. If you are finding this useful, this is a good moment to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We cover this space regularly, and there is always more incoming. Call of Duty showed us the operator. Removed, skilled, consequential. Command and Conquer showed us what comes next. Step back further, let the units move, just manage the map. Both games were right. Both were incomplete. Neither shipped with a Conscience DLC. That add-on is what every meaningful human control debate is trying to write. So here is the question I want you to sit with. If the interface looks like a game, the decision speed feels like a game, and the accountability is as diffuse as a game, at what point does the human in that loop stop being a decision maker and become a high-score entry? Tell me in the comments, do you think we can preserve meaningful human control as these systems scale? Or is that already a story we tell ourselves so the lawyers have something to point to? Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You may also want to check out one of our other videos. Until the next one, over and out.